we would have you understand that the flame that you are burns eternally and shall never go out no matter how bright you allow yourself to become. We shall have you understand that you exist now and always shall, and you always have, because now is the only time and the only place and the only existence there is and always has been and ever shall be. You are eternal, you are infinite, you are spirit, you are body, you are mind, you are heart, you are soul, you are an idea, you are an expression, you are a thought, you are a dream of the infinite creation. But that is reality, and all reality is couched within your dream. You contain it all. You are the whole expression in your own individualized way. You are the matrix is you. You are everything, everything comes from you. Everything gives birth to you as you reinforce the existence of everything and everyone. All that is, the infinite creation, the fabric of existence chose you, chose that you should exist, chose you, consciously chose you. You are in that way, therefore, blessed, and we would have you understand that. Simply because of the fact that you exist, you are blessed. For you are created out of divine material, out of divine light. You are the infinite creator. And your existence was a conscious decision, a conscious thing, a conscious choice. Act in like manner. Be of like mind. Respect yourselves, love yourselves unconditionally. For out of unconditional love were you created, and out of unconditional love shall you create anything you desire. Begin to feel the energy of your interlinking with all thought forms, all consciousness, all civilizations, all eyes, all ideas, all mind, all hearts, all soul, all spirit is one. And you are one within that sea, within that pool. Know that you are the fabric and the essence of the galactic energy. Not one of you, in that sense, can be removed from the matrix without the collapse of the entire structure. You are integral in that way. You are essential in that way. And we would have you understand that because you are interconnected in this way, because everything you do has impact within the entirety of creation, that you deserve to exist in this way, and you deserve to be the fullest individual you can imagine yourself to be. That you deserve to manifest all the things you can conceive of. That you deserve the existence you have been given, or it would not have been granted to you. That you deserve all the love you can imagine, because love is what you are made out of. That you deserve all the light you can create in your life, because light is what you are made out of. Feel in the beating of your heart that it keeps pace with the rhythm and the pulse of the spinning of all the galaxies, of the fabric of existence itself, of the universal heart of infinite creation. For you all beat within that heart, and not a one of you is outside the heart of all that is. You are the blood and the life force of God itself. It is your force and your life as well. You are it, and it is you. Out of your dreams, be born. Out of your heart, be alive. Out of your soul, be light. For you are nothing else.
So when there is a reality that you would like to create that doesn't yet exist, one very strong technique and powerful technique you can use is to simulate it as close as possible. What this means is as follows. If there is a place on your planet that is more representative of your joy, more representative of the environment that would exist in the place where you would do this exciting thing, it would be better if you would actually be in that place. Now, if for some reason you just find that there is no opportunity presenting itself to you to actually travel to that different location that is more representative of your joy, then you must simulate it where you are as closely as possible. Create the environment as closely as possible around you so that you can practice being in that reality. Because if you imagine in your highest excitement that you are going to be the president of a very powerful and creative company, and you see in your imagination that when you are the president of this company, you are sitting in your office behind this beautiful desk in this very big comfortable chair like this. But when you are at your house or apartment, you are sitting in a not so comfortable chair at a little desk like this, then your body energy, your body language is not the same as the body language in your dream. Every little orchestration of energy counts. You must change all of your energy representation to be as close as possible to the way you say you want to actually be when you see yourself living your dream. And so, the idea then is that the closer you can match what you see in your imagination, the more real your body consciousness will believe it is, and the more real energy you will project out that will transform your reality. So, to use another brief example, if your dream is to become a very famous actor, beautifully delivering plays on stage, then find a stage and go on the stage and go through the motions and act out the play and see the audience before you in the seats. And the more people you can ask to help you run through the practice version, the more real it will become. Do not put limits on your imagination. Get as close as you possibly can to simulating the dream you say you want to live. And practice it and practice it and practice it and make changes if the changes are more exciting. That energy will radiate out into the world and attract to you all the circumstances, situations, and opportunities that will allow it to come to pass, to come into reality in the easiest possible way.
As has been often said, you are shifting your frequencies from one reality level to another, and this is so. But you are always shifting. You are shifting now. It is a natural thing that you do. You don't have to wait to shift. You've been shifting. You've been shifting all your lives. This is the way motion is created. This is what happens when you create the illusion of movement. The only way to create the illusion of movement is to actually shift from parallel reality to parallel reality that's slightly different than the reality you were in before. So you're shifting now, you're shifting now, you're shifting now, you're shifting now, you're shifting now. Through constantly shifting parallel realities. The idea is that you don't notice this so much because each new reality you shift to is very similar to the one you were existing in before. The idea of noticing the change is to create there to be a bigger difference between the parallel reality you shift to and the one that you were in before. That's when you know you're shifting. That's when you reveal to yourselves that you're always constantly shifting, and that learning to shift is not something you have to do. You do it automatically. You do it by your own second nature. It is natural to you to shift. This is the nature of how reality works. This is the nature of how change exists. So the question is not, can you shift? The question is, what will you shift to? And how different will you allow the shift to be based on your definitions and your belief systems of what you believe is possible for you? And this is why it is of paramount importance, as has been said this day, for you to really focus on the idea of the frequency, the vibrational frequency, the state of being that you prefer your reality to be, and thus then understand, based on what we have just said, about shifting to parallel Earth realities, that when you change the vibration of your being, it's not that you change the world. It's that you take yourself, you shift yourself to a parallel earth already existing on the vibratory level you have created within yourself. So it's not about having to force anyone else to change. It's only about you changing and taking yourself to whatever reality, whatever parallel earth is representative of the vibrational frequency you have created within your own state of being. And thus then find yourself surrounded by other beings who already populate that world, but are already more representative of the vibrational frequency you have created yourself to shift to. Is this making some sense to you? All right. The idea here, again, is that this is simple physics. As many of your scientists are beginning to realize, everything exists all at once, all now, in a sense, all here. But you create the illusion of separation by creating differences in vibrational frequency. As each and every one of you goes to your homes this day of your time, after these interactions, many of you may sit down on one of your couches. You may pick up one of your remotes. You may turn on one of your television sets. And your TV set technology is a perfect analogy of what we are talking about. The idea is that you know that at any given moment, there are any number of dozens of television programs that are available to you at that moment that all coexist simultaneously. But you will only get the program that you tune your channel to. This is exactly how physical reality is holographically structured. Whatever vibrational realm you exist on, whatever state of vibrational being you choose to be, is the reality you get. What you put out is what you get back. Simple physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Simple physics. That's all this is. It's about creating the appropriate state that you prefer in your own being, and allowing reality, in a sense, to reflect back to you the shift you have made in yourself. But you must understand that the opposite is also true. You cannot perceive what you are not the vibration of. If you tune your television set, to use this analogy further, to what you call your channel 2, you will not receive the program on channel 4. You have to tune your set to channel 4 to get that program. Likewise, based on the reality you say you prefer, if you do not allow yourself, in your definitions, in your emotions, in your thoughts and actions and behaviors in life, to exemplify the vibratory reality that you say you prefer to live in, then you will not be actually capable of perceiving any opportunities that could actually allow you to synchronistically get yourself, shift yourself to that reality. Remember, what you are not the vibration of remains invisible to you. Many times individuals wonder, why can't I do this? Why can't I get there? Why doesn't this happen? It may simply be an issue of that they are on a frequency, operating in a frequency domain that creates certain opportunities to remain invisible to them, unknowable to them, unimaginable to them. They will never even conceive of those ideas, nor recognize them even if they were right in front of their face, because they're not operating on that level. You have to be in the state to see the opportunities and the doorways that actually lead to that reality. This is, again, simple physics. It is a very, very, very simple concept, a very fundamental concept, but we understand that many people on your planet seem to have a lot of difficulty in relating to this idea and creating the kind of changes within themselves that they say they want to make. This all simply comes down to the notion of definitions. How you define your reality. Belief systems, basically, is what we are talking about. Because you cannot have an actual experiential reality except as is based upon the strongest thing you believe it can be. The strongest way you define your relationship to it and to yourself. All experiences in life are based upon, in your physical reality, in your physical dimension, all experiences are based upon the strongest definition you have bought into about that reality. There have been many, many discussions about the different kinds of realities that your probable futures may hold. And I say this, as has been said, they are simply probable futures. Nothing is set in stone, nothing is chiseled in steel. you have the wherewithal to understand that these are simply a function of the probabilities, that there is no the future. There are many, many, many possible futures. The idea, as we have just explained it, is whatever vibratory realm you exist in, whatever state of being you decide is true for you, will be, generally speaking, the future, so to speak, you will experience. And even if there are other people who think completely oppositely, who believe completely opposite of you, they will have their reality experience as well. The idea, again, is that you don't have to change your world. You simply need to shift to a world that's already representative of the change you wish to experience, and allow those that wish to remain in the vibrational world that they have been in to remain there, because that Earth will exist as well, and does exist right now. All these parallel realities exist right now, at the same time, just like the television programs. So, to further stretch the analogy, what this all comes down to, by using the analogy of your TV program, is to understand it all comes down to transformational vibration, TV. All right? That's what you're dealing with, transformational vibrations, TV. You decide what TV show you're going to experience, but you have to tune to that channel or you will not be capable of seeing that particular TV show you say you desire to see. Does this make sense?
Sure, I have a couple of questions about the different dimensions.
Sure.
We have been talking about the fourth and the fifth dimension.
Yes.
In general, can you help me to understand, is there physicality there as well, or duality exists?
Well, one moment. Okay. First of all, we understand in your reality, in your language, sometimes there is some confusion of terminology between the concept you call dimension and density. So many people in your so-called metaphysical movement refer to the idea of fourth density, fifth density. Sometimes people will have these terms interchangeable. Fourth dimension, fifth dimension. They're not exactly interchangeable. Within the reality you would call your third dimension, it is actually a fourth dimensional reality. Because you have three dimensions of space and one of time. You understand?
Yes.
That makes it a fourth dimensional reality. So in reality, you're already in the fourth dimension. Obviously, it's physical. Yes?
Yes.
Now, within this fourth dimensional reality, you are actually also then going into what people on your planet have called fourth density. But that's because they are sometimes confusing the idea of third dimension to fourth dimension transference. But there is no fourth dimension transference because you're already there. So going into fourth density is actually going into the fifth dimension. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, now, in going into the fifth dimension or fourth density, you will find again that what will happen is, yes, there is still physicality. Yes, there is still some degree of polarity, but again, it is not as fixed. You have more flexibility in space and time. You can find it becoming, shall we say, more slippery, unstuck, unglued, so that you can experience more synchronicity, which is your physical translation of experiencing that everything happens at once, that everything is connected. So a symptom, shall we say, a symbol, a marker, of transferring from the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension, or from, if you wish, third density to fourth density, however you wish to frame it, same thing, is to relax the idea of that structure we talked about before that has been placed upon your consciousness, and let it be a little bit looser so that you experience more of the now. And thus relax the concept of space and time, so that you can become more slippery in space, more slippery in time, and find your consciousness moving around in space and time a little bit more fluid. So it's those kinds of things that tell you that you are uplifting your frequency, uplifting your vibration, expanding your consciousness, and becoming more aware of the fact that you live in the now. Because in the now, by definition, all things exist. So the more you live in the here and now, the less you need the concept of space and time because there are fewer details to focus on. When people focus on too many details, and they think they have to make their life work by going to this step and 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 this step, when you're creating steps that then require more space and more time in which to exist. But if you understand yourself more holistically and just go from here to there, and skip all the intervening steps, then you need less time, will experience less time and less space. You'll live more in the now where everything is, and you'll recognize everything is just already here and now. And you'll be able to access it more easily, and the symptoms of that access will be more synchronicity and more slippage in space and time. And also more sensitivity to perceiving with your senses other vibrations, other dimensions, other realities, other frequencies of energies. That's why more and more people now are also seeing more things from other realities, seeing color, seeing light they never saw before, seeing what you call spacecraft moving in other dimensions, seeing spirits of people that have passed on into the spirit realm. More and more and more, this is coming into your society now. Because people are becoming heightened in their sensitivity to things that are representative of what's really here and now. Whereas in the old reality, you filtered 99% of that out. But now you're not doing so much filtering.
So the way that I understand you is that we can definitely experience, let's say, this dimension in this physical world.
The first dimension in that sense is the last level of complete physical reality. Beyond that, it is more quasi-physical, non-physical, which is where we're going. Ours. We're becoming less physicalized. We're now quasi-physical, quasi-energy beings. But you're just going into the very beginning of that level as a society. Does that make sense?
So we can experience that as we live here. And also, the way that I see it is that we may choose, as we go through this growth path, and we may choose to experience our next lifetime in, for example, in fifth dimension. Is that a natural progression?
It can be. It depends. It depends on your choices. It can be representative of a natural progression, yes. But remember, on that higher level, time is not linear. So you can actually choose a life that from physical reality's point of view would actually be before the life you're having now as your next life. Just because you think you might need that experience for your progression. So on that level, it's not linear. Because remember, from that level, you recognize all lives coexist simultaneously. And you're just keying into them in whatever order you think actually serves you best. So it depends on what you mean by progression. Because some souls will feel that they want to hop all over the place, and that creates the kind of progression they need, and some souls will do it very linearly. They will connect to their lives in what, from a space-time perspective, would appear to be one life after another, one dimension after another. But you don't have to do it that way. In fact, one of the things that lets you know you're really truly functioning on a higher level is that you really stop depending on linearity at all. And you start experiencing yourself in a multitude of ways simultaneously. On a higher level, you will experience all your physical lives at once. At the same time, and actually be able to handle all that input all at once. It's similar to the analogy you use on your planet of what you call a film strip. You have a strip of film. There are many frames on that film strip. You know what I'm talking about? Well, each physical life may be one frame. But when you are the projectionist, you can take that film strip and you can stretch it out in front of you and you can see all the frames at the same time. That's a different point of view. You see? So from the higher levels, it's like that. And as a projectionist, you could say, well, now I'm going to look at frame 5. Oh, now I'm going to look at frame 1. Oh, now I'm going to look at frame 10. Oh, now I'm going to look at frame 3. Oh, now I'm going to look at frame 7. You don't have to do it in order. Because you see them all at once. So it's up to you. If it serves you to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, do it that way. If it serves you to do it some other way, do it.
It is your call. It is your game. It is your creation. It is your experience. It's up to you. There is no mystery to these new age ideas on your planet. When people say you create your reality, it's a matter of your thoughts, your beliefs, your behaviors, your feelings. This is really just a layman's way of expressing energy physics. Again, what you put out is what you get back. Consciousness is what creates your experience. There is no real, empirical, outer reality. The only thing that is, shall we say, real is your experience of it. Concurrently with investigating your deepest beliefs to unlock from them is the idea that acting on your joy whenever it might show itself, acting on your passion at every opportunity, is what will also strengthen your ability to move forward in that direction. Because passion, excitement, joy, love, that sensation in the body, that excitement in the body, that sense of balance and peace in the body, is the body's physical translation of the vibratory frequency that represents your true, natural, core, original self. The self you were actually created by creation to be. So anytime you act on your passion, you are then making a statement, a commitment to be harmoniously aligned with your true natural core vibration. And when you are thus functioning and staying in a state of being that is representative of your true natural core vibration, then the universe is capable of supporting anything that is representative of that true natural core vibration. But when you buy into belief systems that are out of alignment, out of phase with your natural self, and thus feel the energy as fear, doubt, hate, and so forth, judgment in that negative sense, and so forth, then the universe can only support what vibration you are giving off. And if you are giving off a vibration of being out of alignment, it can only then present to you opportunities to continue to be out of alignment. Because what you say goes. That's why you were given free will. You are the absolute and ultimate determiner of what kind of reality experience you have. We have often said also that one of the greatest gifts that you have been given by creation, and we know this will sound funny at first in your language, but bear with us. One of the greatest gifts you have been given by creation is that life is meaningless. What we mean by that is this. Nothing, no situation, and no circumstance actually has built-in meaning. It's neutral, devoid of meaning. It's a prop. But the meaning you give it, automatically, unconsciously, or consciously, the meaning you assign, the definition you assign to any given neutral situation is exactly what determines the effect you will get out of that situation. All situations are fundamentally neutral and can serve double duty. They can create for you a negative or a positive reflection. That is solely determined by what energy, vibration, and attitude, and belief system and definition you assign to that situation. So no matter what anyone else's intention in any given circumstance might be toward you, if you assign only a positive meaning to that given same circumstance and situation, then you will only receive a positive effect out of that circumstance, no matter what anyone else experiences.
You will remember that what was also very important in The Secret was this idea that we talked about before about being passionate as expressed in the concept of play. Of playing with everything that happens in your reality. Really having an attitude of gratitude toward it so that you receive every experience you have in a playful way, and thus by receiving it in that playful way can do that much more with it. Be that much more creative with it. Allow it to be that much more flexible, malleable, stretchable, changeable, formable. Play. Play. That energy is what allows physical reality to become like clay. So play with the clay of physical reality. If you approach it from an energy state of being that is of a lower vibration, that's when the clay hardens. That's when it's unchanging in that state. But as soon as you start to be more playful with what's going on in your life, it softens and becomes clay-like, plastic, malleable, formable, changeable again, and gets in step with the fourth law, as you do. Change is the only constant. So in that sense, when you become more playful, you become more changeable. And as a result, your physical reality will mirror that changeability. Become easier to transform from one kind of reflection to another. Now, very important, very important, very important. This is where physical mind, once again, can sometimes get caught up in its own sense of control. And that is that when we talk about the idea that what you put out is what you get back, the physical mind, because, again, of how it looks at physical reality being the only thing there is, will assume that if it doesn't see an exact one-to-one reflection in the circumstances that surround you with what it is you believe you're giving off, you will think that something has failed. Again, I remind you, this is where you get caught in your own paradoxical trap. Even though it is true that what you put out is what you get back, and that by being in a certain state of being, that will determine what the circumstances around you are, the first stage of that, the first manifestation of that, will be usually, especially in your world of space and time, usually the first reflection will look the same as it used to. Because this gives you an opportunity to reinforce the state of being by responding to the circumstances that look the same differently than you did before. And that is where you then allow the circumstances to truly reflect that you have changed, and demonstrate that you truly have changed by responding to the circumstances differently, even if they look the same as they used to. That's how it works. So the first reflection will usually be an echo of how it used to look. You must not respond to the echo as if that's the representation of your new state. You must respond to it, in a sense, as if you know it's just an echo, and that what you're putting out now, the new response to the old circumstances, that will solidify the vibration of your preferred state of being and truly allow the circumstances to change themselves and take their cue from the new vibration you're putting out, which is the absolute certainty that you are different. Because if you respond to the old echo in the same way you used to, you are not different. So in a sense, it's like you're testing yourself. It's like you're giving yourself an opportunity to decide whether you really do want the circumstances to change by first presenting yourself very often with the same set of circumstances to see if you respond differently to them, making a clear commitment that you have, in fact, vibrationally changed your state of being. Once you have then done that and respond differently to the same set of circumstances, then you have established that you truly have changed, and then the circumstances can reflect that change. So don't be fooled by the echo into thinking you've done something wrong by labeling it in the same way you used to. Oh, I didn't see what I wanted to get immediately. It looks the same as it did before. The same people are here giving me the same kind of feedback. I must have done something wrong. Or something's not working. Or you find that you're reacting to it in the same way you used to, because if you do, you have not changed. So that's the self-reinforcing mechanism that gives you the opportunity to decide whether you really want to change that circumstance or not. Because again, remember, all belief systems by definition are self-reinforcing. They have to be. If belief systems were not self-reinforcing and making themselves seem like the only thing there is to believe in, you wouldn't be able to have an actual distinct, discrete belief system experience. If beliefs did not come with a self-reinforcing mechanism, you wouldn't be able to have a discrete physical experience. And because they come with a self-reinforcing mechanism, when you change your vibrational state, one of the last things to fade will be the self-reinforcing mechanism. It will present the same scenario to you once again, but it will be presented not as a concrete reality, but only as an illusion, only as an echo of what was, to give you a chance to really decide that you will break through that self-reinforcing mechanism by defining and labeling it differently than you used to, proving that you have changed, thus allowing the reflection to then truly come. That's how that works. Use that mechanism to your advantage by understanding very clearly. And if you wish to use this almost as a mantra, you certainly may. Again, as we discussed last night, all of these things are nothing more than permission slips that, if you decide they work for you, if you decide they resonate according to your frequency, will simply allow you to permit yourself to change in the way you prefer to. The mantra doesn't do it for you. It simply is a reflection of the belief system within you that says this is what you will allow to give you permission, to give yourself permission to change in the way you wish to. So use this as a mantra if you wish, if it works for you, knowing that you're doing it if you need it at all. And that is, again, the idea, not even so much the statement that circumstances do not determine state of being. State of being determines circumstances. Now you can use that. However, we would also suggest something even simpler and something even stronger. And that is simply, and the mantra is this: circumstances don't matter. Only state of being matters. And again, listen to the way that this synchronistically translates in your English language. Circumstances don't matter. They do not create materialization. Only state of being matters. Only state of being materializes experience. So, the mantra is, anytime you find yourself doubting, stuck, fearful, because of what you believe the situation is, what you believe the circumstances are, you can, if you wish, use this little reminder. Circumstances don't matter. Only state of being matters. And then choose the state of being you prefer. And then redefine the circumstances from that state of being, so that you can erase the echo and allow the true reflection to then take form from your state of being.
The things, the ideas, the beliefs, the concepts, the experiences, the opportunities, whatever you wish to call them, that are vibrating in alignment with your true core self are already doing their utmost to be attracted to you. The ideas, the synchronicities, the beliefs, the vibrations, the opportunities, the situations, the circumstances that are not aligned with that core, radiant, signature frequency that is your true self are doing their utmost to get away from you. The only reason the things that are attempting to get to you don't get to you is that you're keeping them away. The only reason the things that are attempting to get away from you don't get away from you is you are holding on to them and not letting them go. You don't actually have to learn how to attract. You don't actually have to learn how to repel. You just have to learn to let in, and you have to learn to let go. That's all you need to do. Now you can see with this analogy that you are floating around as individuals in a sea of whirlpools and vortices and eddies that are attempting to locate you.
And as you allow them to come in, you will allow them to swirl and spiral into you. And as soon as they begin to swirl and spiral in, when you allow those other things to swirl and spiral out, you will make room for those things that belong with you and give freedom to those things that don't, instead of keeping them prisoner in your dungeon of pain and sorrow and suffering. This is why you have the phrase on your planet, misery loves company.
The crust of my question is really, how do you balance out? You know, I have the old baggage, so to speak, of times when I used to do that, what I thought was 100%, and enjoying it, but having, you know, monetary problems.
But then you knew you were not really doing it 100%. Because again, understand, it's all about defining the concept of abundance and how you relate to the concept of abundance. Are you familiar with our definition of abundance?
I don't think so.
All right. I will share it with you if I may.
Okay.
Oh, are you paying attention?
Yes, I am.
Abundance. The ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Period. Did you hear anything in that definition that said anything about money?
No.
Did you hear anything in that definition that said anything about any particular way in which the abundance had to come?
No.
The ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. That's abundance. Period. Now, it can come in the form of money, but we understand that on your planet very often you are trained to think that money is the only representation of abundance, and when you have a definition that focuses you on money being the only doorway through which abundance can come, then you're actually closing and locking all the other doorways through which the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it could actually come to you, because you refuse to identify or label those things equally as abundant as money. You follow me?
I do follow.
Now, when you allow all manner of abundance to be equal and equally valid, then whatever is the way that is the path of least resistance can come to you, be it money, be it someone gifting you something, being it that you simply synchronistically happen across a circumstance that allows you to do what you need to do, be it any way that it may come. Then when they're all equal, the one that is the path of least resistance can flow to you without resistance, because you are allowing it not to have a specialness that singles it out and focuses an undue amount of energy on that particular way needing to be the way to manifest your abundance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so, in moving forward, now with your new understanding of following your excitement, can you apply this definition to the idea and trust that whatever form of abundance needs to be there to allow you to do what you need to do will be all right, even if it doesn't come in the form that you might expect it ought to?
Well,
that usually means no.
I'm trying really hard.
Oh, I know, but you see, that's the problem.
I know.
Don't try so hard.
I'm one of the people that complicates things more than needs to be.
All right, well, so I guess you find that a help.
But I guess that's part of my problem. My question was, you know, is trying to strip away those old belief systems and things that I have experienced in the past for whatever reason.
Yes, well, here's the paradox. And it goes back to the issue of saying that you don't want to waste time, spending time going through the process. The more you enjoy the process itself, the faster it will go. That's the paradox. The more you're all right with the process itself of discovering what your beliefs are as an act unto itself that's worth having, the faster it will go, because the faster you will be using it up by staying right with it, by being excited about having that process. So that in and of itself is an art form. The first art form to master
is simply being here and now with what is happening. Trusting that what is happening for a reason. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening. So if you are willing to accept that whatever part of the process is happening for the purpose of putting you in touch with more of yourself, so that you can expand and get that reflection back from reality of your expansion, then you will be excited about anything the process has to show you. It will actually be experienced as a piece of performance art. And by getting into it and diving into it and being the performance artist and the art piece itself, then you will allow it to move very rapidly through you, to process very rapidly, because you're willing to accept everything that's happening as necessary, as a part of the piece, as a part of the art, as something to look at, as something to investigate, as something that will increase your understanding of who and what you are as a co-creator. If you look at it that way and stay in that energy, believe me, very quickly you will explode in many different directions, and your reality will explode toward you with many different things that will support you. Does that make sense?
Very much so, yes.
Does that help?
Yeah, it helps. Yes, it's great.
Does it answer your question?
It does answer my question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eventually, the idea of economies on your planet will be altered to a slightly and then more radically different form. Your Japanese area will be one of the places where this might happen very rapidly, but it will not be the only place that it will suddenly realize that this kind of change needs to occur. We are only able at this time to give you a brief overview of these kinds of transformations, but we will say the following thing. At first, your planet will seek a way to create some form of universal exchange that will work for all people in all countries. And then it will shift into an understanding that economy needs to be based on the resources of the people themselves rather than on some artificial basis. And then as your planet's technology begins to discover the idea of free energy and how to transform energy and matter, then it will find that it has abundantly everything that it needs and will not really require an economy as such anymore. People will then be allowed to do whatever they need to do that excites them, for there will be the power and technology to create whatever it is you need at any given moment.
But the point is you don't have to worry about the collapse of the old system, because that's what needs to happen if you're going to have new systems. The trick is to create the new systems now so they will be in place when the old ones crumble of their own dead weight, because they no longer serve you. So seeing them start to break up and dissolve is actually cause for celebration, because it means you're on the verge of allowing yourself to know that there are new systems you can implement. But the point is, take action and make those new systems, invent them, create them, be creative, be active, take action for its own sake. Again, not as a means to an end. For its own sake, because it excites you to do so. If it excites someone to invent, to create, to talk about, to share ideas of new economic systems just because that's what excites them, then that's what's going to create the new systems, and the synchronicity will take care of the timing.
Every time you follow your highest excitement,
Yes.
like say 10 minutes ago you were in a different reality.
Yes.
So are you crossing parallel realities every
Yes.
time?
All the time. Every second. Every instant. Right now. 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 All of those are different parallel realities in total.
And say you're suffering, you're having a hard time, then you're also, it goes the same way, right? as...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You draw yourself into whatever parallel reality is representative of the vibration you most strongly give off. What you put out is what you get back. It's the third law of creation. There are only 4 laws in creation. That's the third one. Number 1 is that you exist. Can't do anything about that. Can't change that. You exist. And in some form you always will. Law number 2. The one is the all are the one. Can't change that. Number 3, what you put out is what you get back. Can't change that. Law number 4, change is the only constant, except for the first 3 laws. That's it. Every reality, every experience, in every dimension, everywhere, every when, is some configuration of those 4 laws. Does that help?
Yes.
Thank you for your time and everything else, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your timelessness. We will, at this counting of your time, remind each and every one of you, you have your own reasons for why you chose to be where you are on earth. It is an adventure that you can allow to enhance every aspect of your being when used in that light. Please remember, when things seem darkest, when things seem down, when things seem at their heaviest, if you really want enlightenment, then just lighten up on yourselves. Let go of judgment. You don't need someone else's baggage in life. You came in with everything you really need to take with you. Whatever other baggage someone thought you needed to drag through your life, you don't need. Drop it. Shake out your hands, physical and spiritual, and start walking taller and lighter on the earth. You will accelerate greatly when you're not weighed down by things that have nothing to do with you. The more you are yourself, the more you will actually be capable of helping everyone else also choose to be themselves. Because they will see by your example what they can also be, not that they must choose it, but at least you give them the choice by choosing joy, love, and excitement for yourself. And they do work. There is nothing in creation that contradicts the choices you make that you believe most strongly are the ones that are your preference. There is nothing in creation that contradicts the choices you make. There are no interruptions in your life. Everything that happens is there for your reasons to use as you wish. Use them in the way you prefer to use them so they can be seen and felt and experienced in an enriching way. And you will see and hear and feel and taste and smell and touch. Everything will take its cue from that state of being. Be that state of being because you can. You don't need another reason to do so. Just be who you are because that's who you are. That's reason enough in the eyes of creation. You don't have to justify your existence, because if you did not deserve to exist, believe me, you wouldn't. But you do exist. And so in the eyes of creation, it must be necessary. It must be important that you are a part of all that is. Without you, each and every one of you, each and every one of us, each and every being in creation, without us all that is wouldn't be all that is. Be your part of all that is in all the ways you wish to be. That's your birthright. It is your soul right. We extend to you our deep appreciation in allowing us this transmission and sharing with you, and we deeply appreciate the gift that you have given to us in allowing us to experience the unique manifestation of creation you have chosen to be, and it opens our eyes to that many more ways that creation has of expressing itself. We thank you and bid you all a fond and exciting good day.